All right, everyone. Ready to unlock some Excel secrets. Today's deep dive, we're tackling JAX.
Specifically, the range function.
The range function, right. This one, it's powerful, but maybe a little under the radar for some folks.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think anyone who's, working with data regularly in Excel, they're going to want to know about this one.
So let's jump right in. Our trusty source material defines the range function as, it says, returns an interval of rows within the given axis relative to the current row. Okay, that's a mouthful. Let's break it down a bit. What exactly are we talking about here? What's a row interval, and why should I care?
Sure. So think of it like this. You've got your spreadsheet, right? And you want to grab a chunk of rows, but you want that chunk to move depending on where you are in the sheet.
Okay, so like a moving window of data.
Exactly, yeah. Let's say you're analyzing sales data and you want to compare this month's numbers to the previous quarter. Range lets you grab that 3-month window, calculate a rolling average, all that good stuff.
Gotcha. So it's not just static, it's dynamic. It adjusts based on where you are. I like it. But hold on, they keep mentioning this axis thing. Rows, I get, but what other axis are we talking about here?
Good point. Yeah, so in spreadsheets, you've got 2 axes, right? Rows and columns.
Makes sense.
So the range function can actually work in either direction, horizontally or vertically, which is super handy depending on what you're trying to do.
So it's like you choose which direction your moving window is facing.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're grabbing these row intervals. Now, how do we control the size of that interval? That's where the step parameter comes in, right? And the interesting thing here is it can be positive or negative.
Yeah, exactly. So think of it like, imagine you're tracking stock prices. You want to see how much a stock went up or down each day.
Okay, yeah.
A negative step in range would let you grab yesterday's price to compare with today's. A positive step, you're looking at tomorrow's price.
So it's like stepping backward or forward in time, but with your data.
Exactly. It gives you that flexibility to analyze trends in either direction.
I'm seeing how this could be really powerful for all sorts of analyses. Now, what if I want to include the current row in my calculations? Is that possible?
Absolutely. That's where the include current parameter comes in. By default, it's set to true, so you're grabbing the current row plus whatever your step is.
So sticking with our stock example, if I'm looking at today's price, include current, make sure I'm comparing it to yesterday's as well, right?
Yep, exactly. It keeps your calculations anchored to the present moment, which is, essential for a lot of financial analyses.
It's amazing how much these little parameters can change how we look at the data. But we've only scratched the surface here, haven't we? There are a few more parameters that caught my eye.
Right. We have axis, which we touched on, but then there's blanks and reset. Now, these might seem a bit more advanced, but they offer a ton of control, especially when you're dealing with complex data sets.
Yeah, blanks and reset, those really piqued my curiosity. Can you give us a quick rundown of what they do and how they can be helpful?
Sure. So think about real-world data. Sometimes you've got missing values, right?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Exactly. So the blanks parameter lets you tell range how to handle those blanks when it's sorting data. You can tell it to ignore them, treat them as zeros, or even group them together. It helps you avoid errors and ensures you're analyzing your data accurately.
So it's like telling range how to navigate around those potholes in your data.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about flexibility and making the function work for your specific needs.
Makes sense. Now, what about reset? What kind of magic does that parameter bring to the table?
Reset is particularly handy when you're working with hierarchical data. Like imagine you've got sales figures organized by region, and then within each region, you've got them broken down by product.
Okay, yeah, I can see that getting pretty complex.
Right. So reset lets you control whether your calculations should reset at each level of that hierarchy. It gives you incredibly granular control over your analysis, so you can compare apples to apples, so to speak.
Wow, that's powerful. It's like zooming in and out of different levels of detail in your data. We've covered a lot of ground here. So just to recap the range function, it's like this dynamic window that moves through your data, and we can fine-tune how it works with these parameters. Incredibly versatile.
Exactly. And the real magic, the real fun comes in how you apply it. Understanding the mechanics is one thing, but it's about using it to discover insights, to find those hidden gems in your data.
I love that. We've gone from a kind of technical definition to uncovering a really powerful tool. So the question for you, dear listener, is this: how can you use range to unlock insights from your data? The possibilities, they're truly vast.
Yeah, they're really fast.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep that data flowing.
And keep on diving deep.
You got it.